over to CB9, that pond we were just looking at.
Was your picture just up above Centennial? Was that
Yes,
your model
yes,
picture?
that's right. That's right above Centennial.
Yeah, and then that work in process that's going on below the, or below your, you know, where you had your shut off.
Right.
That's not complete yet, is it, that work?
It is like the rest of BMPs, it's sort of a work in progress. So that's gone in. We've tried some management scenarios. We're still really in monitoring mode, but you know, the focus has sort of gone in large part elsewhere for the time being. But if that turns out to still be problematic on a regular basis, it will have to have more management parts added to it.
Something,
Yeah.
Not
So
just-
right now, if it spills, if it goes through the orifice, or if it goes over the top, it goes right to the creek.
Quickly, are there uncapped mine sites outside of the boundaries you've got listed there?
Oh yeah.
And who's addressing that?
Well, that's west side soil, but they're not within this drainage system. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They-
Are there
they do
uncapped
go-
soils within this drainage system?
Right. It's not within this drainage system or within priority soils, but it does. But you know, obviously they report to Silverbow Creek. The other important ones are Buffalo Gulch here. The upper part of Buffalo Gulch and the Kelly Mine Yard, and I think Upper Anaconda Road and Upper Warren. Is that the Max Center right in there? Or is that the Max Center right there? So all of this reports to the pit. That's what's been taken out and is routed to the pit. Now, we have this one real small sliver, and that's Montana, and it's just a pipe that goes right into the creek. It's never has really big flows that I've seen. I don't know, but it's still part of what needs to be looked at. It's just so small that it hasn't gotten any focus yet, really. And now so Buffalo Gulch comes out right before Silverbow Creek goes under Montana. Then we have Metro Storm Drain, we have Metro Storm South, we have Warren Avenue, and East Buffalo Gulch, and Anaconda Road. Those all are storm sewer systems that report to the open channel that we refer to as MSD. So that's sort of the storm drain area for MSD. Next. Again, just to kind of refresh you, because I definitely want to focus on these two. And the reason, again, is because Metro Storm Drain comes in and Buffalo Gulch comes in. We also, I'll point out, this is, we call this one SSO1. It's at Harrison Avenue, and it's actually on the other side of Harrison Avenue, but it's kind of an upstream station. Next slide. So this is, for 2007, these are all the storm events. Again, we've got stations laid out here across the bottom, so this is upstream to downstream. Again, this is the compliance ratio and not the concentration. And we can see here SS4, which is the station right by the Visitors Center, so right on George, and right above MSD, is for this, again, I need to point out, this is dissolved. These are important distinctions to make. This is dissolved copper. Almost every time except for this one event, it was in compliance. Then we put in MSD and Buffalo Gulch. So the next station is SS5, that's right in Montana, just downstream of Montana Stream. We can see there was only one that met standards. And I want to call your attention to this particular event. This was in March, early March, and for good reason. It's hard to get the storm monitoring equipment in the stream early because we have automatic samplers and everything freezes up, and it's just kind of undoable. But this year they managed to get it out early, and we caught this event. This was a rain and snow melting event. It was a combination of the two, and we can, I mean, you can see it went to 5 times the acute standard, and for dissolve. Next slide. Same thing, except this is total recoverable. So this includes copper that is attached to small particles and being carried along. In this case, you can see that our sort of up gradient site didn't meet compliance except one time. But on the other hand, you can also see that there was a significant jump because of MSD and Buffalo Gulch. And like I wrote in big red letters there, this is a logarithmic scale, so you know, this might not look like a huge jump, it's a big jump. Next. Looking at it statistically, and this was data, this was 2005, 2006, 2007 data all put together. I mean, the same trend. Here at SS4 at the Visitor Center, in compliance most of the time, pretty big outlier there, but you know, median value, pretty good. Third upper quartile is well below. You can see everything after that stays up there pretty high. Next slide. Again, total recoverable, a little bit different story. Still, a lot better here than it is downstream. Next slide. So I want to look at what's going on in those two drainages in particular.
Joe, can I back you up that
Sure.
slide just a minute? What would be a lethal level for fish? Can you?
See, that's what I was saying to start with. This is describing both a combination of stuff that's immediately lethal, the dissolved fraction, plus stuff that's suspended on particles, and that's not immediately lethal. It is a problem because it ends up going downstream and it's deposited on the bed somewhere, and then macroinvertebrates pick it up in their gut, and then fish get it in their gut, and so fish can start to pick up a body burden because of that because of the suspended portion in this. You'd have to go back one more. As far as putting fish in a tank and killing them with copper, that's not really a definition of that, but that is a standard based on that effect. You know, actually the lethal would probably be up here somewhere.
Is that line after fish die? Sorry to...
No, that's called, what is that called? Oh gosh. It's the concentration.
Yeah, it's like
LD50, it's the lethal dose, or LC50, lethal concentration that kills half the population. And this is definitely not the LC50. This is way safer than that. This is a safe level, and it's really fairly conservative. And it's based on fish in a tank of water that doesn't have all the stuff that's in the stream. And actually, there's a lot of stuff in the stream that's protected. That's why it's a hardness-based standard. The higher the levels, mostly of calcium in the stream, the more protected the water is from metals.
Joe, the total recoverable, what do you mean by that? Does it just settle? Is the sediment collected or what?
Well, some of it must settle out in the stream. I mean, it's carried along, and as flows start to drop, some of that settles. You know, it depends on particle sizes. I would say a whole lot of it ends up in the Warm Springs ponds, where it, you know, basically stops and has a lot of time to settle.
So it's really not recovered.
No, total recoverable means that's a laboratory term. It means when you take the sample, you're going this method is all that it can recover, and it's really not.
Yeah.
It's not even really total because it's not dissolving the minerals and getting what copper's in it, but